Hey guys, Mr. Marcus here, and as you can see, we're back with some MyClub, the Marcus Mafia, this time of course in Division 9. Like I said in the last episode, I'm sure I'm like basically in Division 8, so it was inevitable of a promotion. And like I said, I think it was like 4 or 5 episodes ago, I said I would try and just play 5 matches, try and get promoted as quickly as possible so I could get to the higher divisions, and for whatever reason just play better players. But for this particular division, I think I just wanted to just make a lot of GP particularly, so of course, as you'd expect, I've decided to play all 10 matches in this particular division. But as you see here, he faced against a guy who was a team spirit of 84, and he had a pretty decent squad. But he had John Ruddy in goal, Erasmus Elm, who's actually a former Marcus Mafia player, not in this particular year or the year before, but from PES 2013, where I had a really goddamn good team by the end of it. But anyway, he had Bernard as well as Charles and Zogbia, and he had Nyang up front, which was quite interesting because Nyang is not really that good a player. He's a alright player, but he's not that good a player. But we're playing at the Saitama Stadium 2002, which was interesting to play because that's actually one of the stadiums I used to play at quite a lot in PES 6, actually, like loads. For some reason, I don't remember why, I just really enjoy playing at it. But in the first minutes of the match after a kick-off, basically a really nice 1-2 from Lorente, well, from Marquisio to Lorente. It actually gets cut out, but Lorente just gets the opportunity, and Marquisio gets the opportunity, and Marquisio pops past John Ruddy in the first seconds of the match to make it 1-0. And in the 11th minute of the match, I keep messing up Marquisio and Lorente, which really shouldn't mess up at all, but Lorente tests the goalkeeper with a pretty decent shot, and it comes to literally nothing as he tries to get a counter-attack in here, as you see here with the ball. He actually does get an opportunity, but he overplays the pass because he thought my Ogbonna was going to get to the ball, which unfortunately for him doesn't come to anything. But from that, I get the counter-attacking opportunity. Go to Lorente. Lorente waits for Ambrosio to make the run. Ambrosio makes the run, gives it back to Lorente. Lorente just takes it past 2 players, gets a shot away, and it's a pretty decent save from John Ruddy. And the thing which was most interesting about that is that as Lorente took the shot, he actually gets fouled. And again, if this had been PES 2014, it actually would have been a penalty, which is quite interesting that PES has sort of evolved to the fact that not every single foul in the box is a penalty, even if the player's already kicked the ball away. It's not a foul. Technically, it's not a foul because the player's already continued. So it's just an interesting little analogy there. But in the 32nd minute of the match, D'Ambrosio from goal gets an opportunity. Keeper makes a pretty decent save, but the rebound comes straight to Lorente, just pops in back in the net to make it 2-0 before the first half ended. And then literally from that, in the second, well, at the end of the first half, really poor from Javi Martinez to kick the ball into Marquisio, who's lying on the floor. But 2-0 was a halftime score, which was pretty decent. He'd had 2 shots, 2 on target. We'd had 6 shots, 5 on target. So we were sort of dominating in the match. And then basically not from kickoff, but from the start of the second half, he had the ball with Nyang, tried to play a through ball through to Luke de Jong. He actually did succeed in playing said through ball, but Ter Stegen was there, Andre Ter Stegen was there to pop it, well, to stop it from going in the back of the net, which was pretty decent from my German goalkeeper. Into the 58th minute of the match here, as Mariano keeps the ball in play, gives it to Fernando Lorente. Lorente tries to get past Shaw, can't get past him, but unfortunately for my opposition, fortunately for me, he plays the ball straight to Marquisio, pops in the back of the net for his first goal of the game. And then in the second minute of the match, Lorente gets played for a goal again by Marquisio, but this time Lorente hits it just wide, which again is just really, really poor attacking play from Lorente. Don't know why I said Marquisio hits it wide, because Lorente is hitting it wide. But in the 77th minute of the match, I actually brought on Escobar because I was really pissed off after after Lorente had made that mistake. There's going to be a graphical glitch here in a second, as you see there. But Escobar runs past about 4 players before popping it back to the net to score his first goal for the club, which is pretty decent from a 78 rated player. It's actually quite a nice goal as well to make it 4-0 to us in the last minutes of the match. And as you see here, just sort of take the long goal kick as he eventually kicks the ball away and makes it, well, he actually kicks the ball really far when he does that, but I just can't seem to do it like at any other opportunity other than when it's like the end of the game, which is just interesting. But as you see there, 10 shots, 8 on target, basically dominated, and Fernando Lorente got man of the match with 8.0 rating. But as you see there, went up to 571 in the ranking. Got 15 points in total at the end of our season, and we got another, well, as you expect, we got our players. But this time I decided to actually finish the season and go to the next match after 6 games in the division, and 5 wins and one loss, which is pretty decent actually. As you see there, been promoted to Division 8, got 120 GP points, because that's really worth it. But yeah, being ridiculously sarcastic there if you didn't get that. But going into the last match of this episode, and it was again someone who was pretty decent. If I can remember correctly, I think his name was Lubo's Boys was his was his thing, was his team name, which is always interesting to see, because whenever I see a team name which isn't like just a team name which they're copying, I always suggest it's something that they're probably doing something. But we faced against a guy called Lubo05 in Division 8, so it's fortunately our first division match is actually against the same division. Probably the first time since Division 12 or 11, which is just ridiculous. But of course, he's playing at the Santiago Bernabeu with inverted commas, because that game, well, because the stadium doesn't exist in this game. And he had a pretty good squad. I have to give him full props to that. He had Ogbon at the back along with Alaba, Verratti in midfield of Gutsa, Pogba as well as Fernando Torres, Salapingindis up front, and Abubakar, goddamn pace. He's basically the Van der March. No, it's not. Van der March is forever lost in PES 2013 history. He will never, ever, ever be in any other game ever again. Hopefully. But yeah. So I was checking out his goalkeeper here, Fabiano, pretty decent goalkeeper. I think it was 84 rated or something along the lines of that, or 78 rated or something ridiculous like that. I particularly don't even remember, to be honest. But I completely forgot I had Aderlan Santos on the bench, a 77 rated centre back. Pretty good centre back, by the way, if you ever need a centre back as a, well, centre back in general. But obviously it was really weird, because he decided to play the San Siro instead of just playing at the Santiago Bernabeu, which just made no sense to me. And I'd never played at San Siro, it's always usually the Giuseppe Meazza. But the one thing I did really dislike about this guy was every single kick-off, or any single time he had an opportunity, he would always do a stupid rainbow flick, which is the most frustrating thing to do in a game like this, because it's so easy to do, considering it's one of the most hardest skill moves in like real life. But it's one of the harder, more skill moves in real life. But as you see there, like we both sort of tested our goalkeepers in the first minutes in the match. He actually tested my goalkeeper there, actually properly tested him. And then in the 14th minute of the match here, Llorente on the ball runs past Amat, tries to get past Ogbonna, actually runs past two of the players, gets a shot away, and it's a really good save from his goalkeeper. And in the 42nd minute of the match here, Pogba plays for Abubakar, and it's like the most fortunate goal I've ever seen, because Ogbonna should just put his foot out and stop the ball, but he just lets it go through his legs. Abubakar gets the opportunity, shoots at the near post, and my keeper, it just makes a complete mess of it, and he scores. So he had 4 shots, 2 on target in the first half. I had 2 shots, 2 on target, so maybe he did deserve to actually be like 1-0 ahead. But basically from the kickoff, I get an opportunity for Llorente, get a shot away, and again Llorente hits it just wide. So maybe I'm thinking it's maybe time for a new striker, because Llorente just isn't really doing it for me anymore. He's a good player, but he's just not doing it. But in the 54th minute of the match, Marquisio for on goal, gets the strike away, and again I hit it wide, and it came to the point where he actually stopped playing the game for whatever reason. Maybe someone was calling him, I don't know, and I just hit it wide again. I just could not pop it in the back of the net, which is the most frustrating thing about this. Till it came to the 61st minute of the match, I get another strike away, and again I hit it wide. So in like the first 15-20 minutes of the second half, I maybe had about 15 to 20 shots, and then he hesitated when he was through on goal there, as you see there, and Arcuvio comes back with probably one of the best tackles I've ever seen, and basically right in front of Ter Stegen's face, which was really interesting to see. And then literally from that kick, I actually get an opportunity with Llorente or Marquisio, it's one or the other. I really don't even remember, because like he tried to pull it away, tried to get away again and again and again, but eventually Llorente gets played for on goal. This time Llorente pings it in the back of the net, actually hitting it off the post, which was interesting to see. And then in the 68th minute of the match, Pogba, after doing this stupid rainbow flick, gets an opportunity, well, tries to get an opportunity, and actually comes back to Pogba again. Again, Ogbonna comes back for a really good tackle, Abubakar tries to pop it in the back of the net, and Ter Stegen makes a really good save. And until the last 10 minutes of the match. Now, in this last 10 minutes, I was actually trying to pause the game so I could make a substitution and bring Escobar on for Llorente, but for whatever reason, the game just would not, there was no break in plays here. As you can see here, Ayala down the right hand side in the last 2 minutes of the match, crosses into D'Ambrosio, tries to head it down to Llorente, he heads it out, it comes down to Marquisio passes it down, he passes it forward to Llorente back to Marquisio tries to play it back into Llorente, who decides just to stand still instead of moving because he had no stamina left. And that was the end of the match, because he doesn't even get an opportunity as he tries to get forward here with Salapingindis, and he basically makes a really good tackle with Ogbonna, and that was that. I mean, literally, it was the most unfortunate end of the match, because I was trying to make a substitution to change the game in the last 10 minutes, but I just didn't get the opportunity. So a 1-1 draw with Lubo's lads in San Siro, which is always interesting. But then when you actually look at the stats, maybe it was an equal result, with 7 shots, 3 on target from him, and 8 shots, 3 on target from me. So yeah, he went up by 2, I go down by 1, because, you know, I always go down. And in Division 8, we have 1 point. So, woo! So if you have enjoyed this video, subscribe my channel for more, and catch you later.